Now to the controversial comments about Campbell's soup, allegedly made by a company executive.
Campbell's.
Good.
This morning, Campbell's Soup is denying claims about its products, allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording is also heard belittling Campbell's customers during an expletive-filled rant.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording is allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit filed by Robert Garza, a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's, who claims he was fired after reporting the alleged remarks, which he says also included racist comments about company employees. Garza claims Campbell executive Martin Bally made those comments after the two met to discuss Garza's salary. In a statement, Garza's attorney saying, "This situation has been very hard on Robert. He thought Campbell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead, he was abruptly fired." Campbell's responding, saying, "If the comments were in fact made, they are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company." And going on to say, "The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd."
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup.
Campbell saying, "The chicken meat used in our soups comes from long-trusted USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards." And the company noting, Bally worked in IT and had nothing to do with food production. Bally is on leave, pending a company investigation. In the meantime, the Attorney General in Florida, a state that bans lab-grown meat, says his office is now investigating Campbell's products.
And we reached out to Martin Bally, but did not hear back. Campbell says it has not been able to verify the recording.
Shalom, Yasharala Shalom. This your Ak Kadash Alahayim coming at you with another quick lesson. First and foremost, I like to say, Ka Hala, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Amanawal, Barakatah. Yahweh being the name of our Heavenly Father, the Ancient of Days, the Lord of Hosts, the Almighty, and Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And as you can see in the opening clip, Martin Bally speaking ill of oppression, man. He's speaking ill of the children of Israel, saying that the food that they feeding us is poor people's food, and that the chicken is not real chicken, it's bioengineered 3D printed chicken, man. Right? And he's also speaking proud against the Native American Indians, the tribe of Gad. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High is exposing all of this right when Thanksgiving is approaching. The Most High have been sending his signals out, his signs and wonders, and he has been exposing these devils for who they truly are, man. And our people so damn distracted, they can't even see what's going on, man. Right? These heathens do not like you. These heathens hate you, and they reigning over you, just as the scriptures is written. Right? But the Most High spoke of these things. He said these things will happen. But now it's time for our people to wake the hell up to what's really going on. Right? Let's start off by going to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 13. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 13, and it reads, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Right? So the Most High scattered the children of Israel across the four corners of the earth for our disobedience, for our lawlessness, for idolatry, and following the ways of the heathens. He scattered us amongst the Gentiles, man. And Gentile is just a buzzword for idolater. Right? Gentile is a buzzword for idolater, because all the Gentiles are idolaters, man. Right? He said we shall eat our defiled bread among these idolaters. And that's what you see, man. The Most High said that these Gentiles don't sacrifice to him. They sacrifice to devils. Right? So they eat all manner of unclean foods, processed foods, ultra processed foods. Right? with all kind of chemicals in them. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't glorify the Most High in their bodies. They glorify Satan, the god of this world. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 20. The book of 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, in the 20th verse, and it reads, "But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice," meaning idolaters, the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Right? So as our people prepare for this holiday season, right, they don't know that Thanksgiving is a sacrifice to devils. Christmas is a sacrifice to devils. New Year's, Easter, etc. Right? Those are sacrifices to devils, man. Eating unclean foods, right? Breaking the law of Leviticus, the 11th chapter. Hey, that's a sacrifice unto devils, man. And the Most High said that ye should not have fellowship with devils or deceivers. We're not even supposed to be partaking in their customs, man. That's why we in this position we in the first place, for following the ways of the idolaters. Right? Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 9, and let's go down to the 3rd verse. The book of Hosea, chapter 9, and verse 3, and it reads, "Thou shalt not dwell in the Lord's land," because we was disobedient and we was cursed as a nation of people. It say, "Thou shalt not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt." Ephraim is symbolic for the northern kingdom, right? The Hispanic and Native and Seminole tribes, right? It said, "And Ephraim shall return to Egypt." Egypt is a buzzword for slavery, the house of bondage. It says, "And they shall eat unclean things in Assyria," right? Now through the spirit and power of H.O.I, you know, if you have ears to hear, Assyria is a buzzword for America, right? It say, "And they shall eat unclean things in Assyria," which is America, meaning that the northern tribes, you know, the Indians that Martin Bally was speaking on, right? They would not have control over their diets. You know what I'm saying? They would be forced to live under these heathenistic customs, these Gentile customs, eating food that's unlawful, that's unclean in the eyes of the Most High. Verse 4, "They shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, for their bread for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord." Right? Now let's examine this 4th verse real quick. It say, "They shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto them." So like it pleasing unto him. So our sacrificial system would be taken away from us, right? And we wouldn't be able to sacrifice and give drink offerings and wine offerings to the Most High, because we would be in captivity serving our oppressors, right? It says, "Neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be turned unto them as the bread of mourners," right? And bread of mourners goes into the bread of death, right? That bread that's associated with death, breaking of the commandments, right? "And their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners," or the bread of death. "All that eat thereof shall be polluted." So anybody that's partaking in these pagan customs and these pagan rituals like Thanksgiving, right? You're eating the bread of death, man. And it's going to make you polluted in the eyes of the Most High. Your mind is going to be polluted. Your spirit going to be polluted. Your heart, your soul is going to be polluted. And not only that, your carnal body, your flesh, is going to be polluted and defiled. Right? It's going to bring forth sickness and plagues and death upon your life, man. It say, for their bread, for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord. Right? For their bread, for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord. Meaning you're not going to be keeping the high holy days. You're going to be keeping the pagan customs of this world. Right? And that bread for your soul is the bread of life. The knowledge of the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? That's not going to come into the house of the Lord, which is your temple, your body, your vessel, man. The knowledge of the law, statutes, and commandments is not going to enter into your life, man. Because you so fixated on sacrificing to devils and not the Most High. And this is exactly what your enemies want, man. Your enemies want you to sacrifice to their gods. Right? How can you celebrate the slaughter, the massacre of your brothers and sisters, man? Of your grandparents, of your cousins, your aunties and uncles. Right? But the Most High said that these things will happen because we was disobedient, broke his commandments. Now we got to serve our enemies. Right? Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. And it reads, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Who is one of your enemies? Martin Bailey, man. Right? The owner of Campbell's. Right? Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The Most High sent that enemy against you niggas, man. Against you Hispanics. Against you Native and Seminole Indians because of your disobedience. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? So we're going to serve our enemies, right, in hunger. Right? When you go to that grocery store and you buy that product, you are purchasing that product from your enemy. Right? And when you buy food from your enemy, they could feed you whatever they want to feed you. Right? They could tell you that it's healthy. They could put the number of calories on there. They could throw the ingredients on there and it still be not what they portray it to be inside that can. Right? They don't tell you that it's 3D printed meat on the Campbell soup can, man. They don't tell you that it's all type of acid and chemicals and things that don't belong in the body that's in that Campbell soup can. And that goes for any other product that's in the grocery store. A pack of noodles, right? Drinks, flour, you know what I'm saying? Bread, you know what I'm saying? They be having pork inside bread inside the grocery store, man. They be having meats. Even if it's a steak, even if it's chicken, the chicken be shot up with all kind of steroids and drugs. You know what I'm saying? But they're not labeling it with everything that they put inside this food. Right? And that's the curse that we got to suffer under by being ruled over by our enemies, man. Our enemies hate us and they reign over us. They feed us what they want to feed us. That's why the Most High said we shall eat our defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether the Lord have scattered thee. Right? So we go to our enemies for food and hunger and in thirst, right? For water, drinks, and in nakedness for clothing and the want of all things. And that want of all things goes into shelter. If you need a damn toothbrush, toothpaste, you got to go to your enemies, man. If you need school clothes for the children, you got to go to your enemies. If you need medicine, you got to go to your enemies, man. That's the reality that the children of Israel got to face, and only us. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalm, chapter 73 and verse 8. The book of Psalm, chapter 73 and verse 8, and it reads, they are corrupt. That's your enemies that you serve. Right? Martin Bailey. That's the enemies that you serve. Bill Gates. Right? Any mega corporation. You work at Walmart. Right? You serving Sam Walter, I believe is his name. Right? They are corrupt. They only care about the dollar, man. They don't care how they get it. They just want the dollar. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. And that's what Martin Bailey was on, man. He was speaking wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully, meaning like they superior to everybody. Verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Yeah, they set their mouth against the heavens. And in this context, the heavens represent the children of Israel, right? You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. How do they tongue walketh through the earth? Via media, social media, radio, podcasts, movies, film, entertainment, right? Music. That's how they tongue walk through the earth, right? On the airwaves. You feel me? And they speak negative concerning oppression. They speak ill concerning the children of Israel, because that hatred is embedded in their heart, mind, and soul, man. Right? But all praises to the Most High that their tongue, he's allowing their tongue to destroy them and expose them, man. Right? Just how this conversation got leaked. A lot of things are being leaked in these last days to show our people who their enemy are. Right? And our people still, want to turn their head to the truth and, close their eyes so they don't see this truth, man. But it's right here in your face, right? Let's go to the book of Psalm, chapter 140, and we're going to start at verse 9. The book of Psalm, chapter 140 and verse 9, and it reads, as for the head of those that compass me about, our enemies that we serve in a land that we know not, right? Let the mischief of their own lips cover them, right? So Martin Bailey lips, the mischief of Martin Bailey lips is covering him, man. Now he's stepping down. Now he's in hiding. Now he's embarrassed because this conversation got leaked, right? Let's go to Proverbs 12 and 13. The book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 13, and it reads, the wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, right? So this damn devil, this demon, he fell in his own trap by the transgression of his lips, man, right? He done fell into a trap by the transgression of his lips. Now he got all kind of unwanted attention. Now he got all kind of heat on him that's burning his ass up, man. Cause he opened his mouth against the Most High's peculiar treasure, man. Right? Let's jump to Proverbs, the 18th chapter in the 7th verse. And I'm going to close out with this. The book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 7, and it reads, a fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Right? So this owner of Campbell, right, he's a damn fool, and his mouth has destroyed him, right? And a lot of our people, you follow the ways of these heathens, and you speak lawfully and proud, and your lips, your words are going to keep you out the kingdom of heaven, man. Your words, your lips, your talk of guile and wickedness is going to keep you out the kingdom of heaven. A fool's mouth is his destruction. Do you know how many people have been put to death because of the words that came out their mouth, man? And there's no different from these damn devils, these heathens that's in rulership right now. They're going to talk theyself out their own kingdom, right? And his lips are the snare of his soul, right? So our people got to wake up and smell the damn coffee, man. Smell the coffee brewing, man, because the Most High got it brewing right now. And with that, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Hamashiach, Amanawal, Barakatah. It's H.O.I. Las Vegas. It's H.O.I. to the chariots fly. Shalom, Yasharallah.